Hello children, let's start our today's geography class with a very simple thought. Think happy and be happy. So today's lesson is just a revision of lesson number 5, which is about the temperature in detail. Remember in the last video we have done the revision of lesson number 4. So today is the revision of lesson number 5. So this lesson begins with the distribution of sun rays on different parts of the earth, children. See, how is the earth shaped, children? Is it circular? No, it is spherical in shape. And how is the distribution of sun rays here? If you see, if you see the equator part, now the sun rays will fall directly, isn't it? See, this is the equator part of the earth, so sun rays will fall directly. So here you will have maximum temperature. But as you go up, now these sun rays will become bit slanted, tilted, थोड़े से तिरपे, isn't it? It becomes tilted, slanted. So here again the heat of the sun will be less, the temperature will be less. So on the equator maximum temperature, and as you go up temperature decreases, it comes down. If you go again towards the poles, no, again more slanted sun rays, more and more slanted sun rays. So again the temperature becomes very very low. Okay, again I repeat, children. So on the equator you have maximum temperature because the sun rays fall directly, it covers the same area. See here, no slanting, isn't it? Sun rays fall straight, isn't it? So equator will have the maximum temperature, but as you go higher up, sun rays become slanted or tilted, and that's why here less temperature. Again as you go higher up, temperature becomes more and more less. Why? Because again the sun rays become more tilted, slanted, isn't it? And this is how the distribution of sun rays on different parts of the earth, isn't it? So this is like it, and this happens, children, because the earth is spherical in shape, it is not circular, it is spherical in shape. That's why on the equator you have straight sun rays, as you go up slanted sun rays, again as you go move up, again more and more slanted sun rays. Understood this diagram, children? So this is because of earth's shape, the distribution of sun rays is like this. And because of this difference in temperature, we get different thermal zones. What is the meaning of these thermal zones, children? Thermal means different temperature zones, different temperatures, different heat. Like on the equator just now we saw maximum temperature. As you go higher up, temperature keeps on decreasing, temperature becomes low and low as you move up. Okay, this is another diagram. See, different temperature zones you get. Here you get the torrid zone, then temperate zone, isn't it? The frigid zone. Okay, like this. See, so we will read out what is that. Torrid zone. Torrid zone means what, children? Very very hot and dry, and region having such temperature is said to be the tropical region. So the zone is said to be torrid zone when it is very hot and dry. See, so that means equator will have the torrid zone because sun rays will fall directly. In the last diagram we saw, isn't it? So on the equator sun rays fall directly, so torrid zone. And what is the name of this region? The name of this region is the tropical region. As you go higher up, you will get the temperate zone. See, temperate, having mild temperature, isn't it? So equator maximum temperature, highest, high, very hot, it is torrid zone. This is the medium temperature, that's why the temperate zone. And what is the name of the region? The name of the region is called temperate region. Okay, again as you move up, as towards the poles, north and south poles, frigid zone means very cold because very very less temperature, so this is called the frigid zone. And what is the name of that region? It is the polar region, children. That's why we say that at the poles cold, very very cold, isn't it? That's why the name of the region is polar region. Okay, and temperature decreases from equator towards both the poles. Yes, just now we saw from equator as you go towards the poles, temperature comes down, temperature becomes very very low. So this equator, it has the highest temperature, very hot, torrid zone, and name of the region is what, children? See, tropical region. So this region will be the tropical region, and name of the zone is torrid zone. This is the temperate zone, mild, medium temperature, and name of the region is temperate region. Here very very less temperature, almost cold. This is the frigid zone, and name of the region is the polar region. So you can see here equator has the maximum temperature, and it again keeps on decreasing as you go towards the poles. Understood this slide, children? This diagram, did you understood? Yes, it's very easy. Again, torrid zone, temperate zone, frigid zone. Name of the region, torrid zone. Since what is the name of the region? It is tropical region. This is temperate region, and this is the polar region. Okay, very hot, medium, and almost cold. Now main factors that changes any temperature is what, children? Nearness to the sea. If the place is very close to the sea, the temperature changes. if the place is above the sea level, when we talk about the hill stations, these places are usually at a height above the sea level, isn't it? So you will experience that there, in such hill stations, no, the temperature is very very low, it's almost cold, pleasant atmosphere is there, isn't it? So this happens because the place is above the sea level, it is somewhere in the mountains. Above the sea level means what, children? It is somewhere in the mountains. Then continentality means what, children? Continentality is what, where we have only the land surface, plain land, no mountains or like that, okay, plain surface, that is the continentality. Like if we talk about the Nagpur. So we live on the continent, on the land, isn't it? We hardly have any mountains, isn't it? So this is the continentality. Physical setup. How is the physical setup? Whether that place has mountains, whether that place has forest or grasslands, this is called the physical setup. This also changes the temperature. If suppose the physical setup is like forest, then again very less temperature, isn't it? If the place is desert, physical setup is desert, then very very hot, isn't it? So this is the meaning of physical setup. How that place looks like, this is the physical setup. Clouds, clouds, if the cloudy weather is there, you know very well the temperature comes down. Winds also changes the temperature, isn't it? If the winds are there, again the temperature becomes low. Vegetation means, vegetation cover means what, children? All plants, green plants, it also changes the temperature, isn't it? This is called vegetation cover, all green plants. Industrialization and urbanization. Industrialization, more number of factories, this particularly happens in cities. Cities have maximum factories, isn't it? So this is industrialization. It is urbanization, more and more cities, it is called urbanization. Okay, so these are the two important factors which changes the temperature. You know very well, nowadays the number of cities are growing, so it is giving more and more pollution, and that is also increasing the temperature is rising because of that. So these are the two factors which are changing the temperature nowadays, isn't it? So again I want to repeat: nearness to the sea, if the place is close to the sea; height above the sea level; continentality, whether that place is on the plain land surface; physical setup, how that place looks like; clouds, winds, vegetation covers means green plants; industries and cities, urbanization is cities. Continentality, see, large portion of land. Continent is nothing but the large, only land surface, only land. Vegetation cover, green plants. Urbanization is what? Growing number of towns and cities. Industrialization, growing number of industries and factories. Then temperature is high in the day and low at night in the continental areas. Continental, where there is a major portion of the land. Land portion is more, land part is more, that is called continent. So here in the continent you will experience that throughout the day temperature is more. Like if we talk about Nagpur, no, in the summer season, isn't it, the temperature is very high throughout the day, isn't it? So usually in the continental areas temperature is high in the day and it is low at night. But the opposite is in the coastal areas. Temperature is low in the day and it becomes high at night in the coastal areas. But one thing is there, children, in the coastal areas temperature remains, weather, almost climate remains equal, same in the coastal areas. It never changes. You might have experienced that when you go to the place which is very close to the sea, isn't it? The climate over there is almost same, isn't it? Humid climate usually you will experience there, that is same, that will not change. So throughout the day temperature is very low and at night it rises. In continent climate is extreme, yes, extreme. If we talk about the Nagpur, no, we live in the continent, so extreme climate in the summer, extreme high temperature; in the cold, again extreme cold; in the rainy season, too much of rains, isn't it? So the continental areas have the extreme climate, extreme, almost everything is high. Then the difference in the maximum and minimum temperature of the day is called diurnal range of temperature. Diurnal range of temperature means what, children? The temperature which we calculate throughout the day, whether it could be maximum and minimum temperature. You might have seen in the news channels, no, the temperature is always given: maximum this much degree Celsius, minimum this much degree Celsius, isn't it? So these two temperatures, when we calculate the difference between these two temperatures, that is said to be the diurnal range of temperature. Okay, difference in the maximum and minimum temperature: maximum highest, minimum lowest, isn't it? The difference in the mean temperature of summer and winter, when the same difference we calculate for summer and winter, that is said to be the annual range of temperature. Understood the difference? Diurnal means when we calculate the temperature difference throughout the day, and when we calculate the same difference for summer and winter, it is called the annual range of temperature. Of course, summer will have the highest temperature and winter will have the low temperature, isn't it? So summer is highest and winter is lowest temperature. Okay, so this is the annual range of temperature, diurnal and annual range of temperature. Then now next thing, children, one more thing you have to study in this lesson is about the greenhouse gases. Now what are these greenhouse gases which is responsible for global warming? Now this global warming word is not at all new to you, isn't it? Global warming is responsible for increasing the temperatures, isn't it? It is increasing the temperatures. Like, now what are these greenhouse gases? It is carbon dioxide and water vapor. What is the speciality of these gases? Carbon dioxide and water vapor, it can hold more heat within themselves, more heat, more temperature, very hot, isn't it? They can absorb more heat, and that's why it increases the temperature. That's why these gases rises the temperature, which is responsible for global warming all around the earth. They are called greenhouse gases. Okay, they are increasing the temperature day by day. This is a major issue nowadays, global warming. Now difference in temperature, winds and difference in density of water gives warm and cold currents. In the ocean, you will see two types of currents, warm currents and cold ocean currents. Okay, when the warm wind will move towards the cold wind, isn't it? It increases the temperature, and when cold wind will move towards the warm wind, it is responsible for giving the cold currents. So warm and cold ocean currents. Why you get this warm and cold ocean currents? Because of the difference in the temperature, sometimes high temperature, sometimes low temperature, winds. And yes, density of water, I told you the meaning of density in the last lesson. Density, it is the capacity of any substance to occupy the space, isn't it? The place where warm and cold currents meet each other is good for the growth of our children. Planktons, I told you about the planktons. Remember, planktons you get in the form of plants as well as animals. Okay, but they are very minute, they are very small, you cannot see with the help of your eyes. So it is a favorite food for fishes. These planktons are what? This is very favorite dish for fishes. So such a place is said to be very good for fishing, where the warm and cold currents meet each other. That particular place is very good for the growth of planktons. Two such famous cold currents, ocean currents, it is Canaries and Peruvian current. Okay children, these two names are for two cold currents, and two warm currents, equatorial and Brazilian current. Okay, so these are some of the ocean currents. Remember the meaning of ocean currents: warm and cold, warm very hot, and cold ocean currents. Okay, isolines. Then next thing which we studied in this lesson is about the isolines, children. Just see this map, isn't it? If you see the map, some lines are there, isn't it? Lines are drawn, no? Did you see? Did you saw these lines? Isn't it? Yes, these are said to be the isolines. But what is the use of these isolines? So lines drawn on a map by joining all points having the same value are called isolines. If you see, these here, the lines are drawn on the same value. See, all lines are drawn, like here 0, all points joining 0, all points joining 5, all points on 10. So joining the same value. See, 5, 10, 15, same value. So when we draw such lines on the map joining the same value, it is said to be the isolines. Understood the meaning of isolines, children? Yes. So but when the same line we draw to measure the height, it is called contours. When the same lines we draw to measure temperature, it is called isotherms. And when the same line we draw to measure pressure, it is called isobars. And when the same line we draw for measuring rainfall, it is called isoheights. Okay, remember the basic meaning of isolines: lines drawn on the same value. Okay, they are called the isolines. These are the isolines, but different names we have given for these isolines. For height, the name is contours. For temperature, name is isotherms. The meaning of therms is what? Temperature. For the pressure, the name is isobars. And for rainfall, the name is isoheights. Okay. The last thing which we have to study in this lesson is about the thermometer, children. This simple thermometer you have seen many a times, but see how it is. You have to study this thermometer. How is the arrangement of thermometer? If you see here, this thermometer is mounted on a glass tube. Okay, this particular thing, whole thing, thermometer, you will have in the glass, but the substance which is used in the thermometer is either mercury or alcohol. Why we use mercury or alcohol, children? Because it responds very quickly, this mercury, to the outside temperature changes. Okay, very minute difference in the temperature, the mercury will either rise or will come down. It is very sensitive. This mercury is very sensitive to the changes in temperature. Like see, the freezing point of mercury is minus 39 degrees Celsius. And the freezing point of alcohol is what, children? 130 degrees Celsius, isn't it? And that's why we use this mercury or alcohol in the thermometer. But what are the units to measure temperature? It is either degree Celsius or degree Fahrenheit. Again I repeat, either we write down temperature in degree Celsius or degree Fahrenheit. This is the freezing point, isn't it? So the freezing point is minus 39, and freezing point of alcohol minus 130, isn't it? Such a difference, isn't it? Minus 39 and minus 130. So you have to come down like this, minus 30 and minus 130. That's why we use mercury or alcohol here. Okay. So what is your today's homework, children? You have to write down all the points we have studied today in your notebook without fail. All the points, including this diagram of mercury. Including this diagram of thermometer. You will draw this in your notebook without fail. So I want all these things in your notebook. Now this map, you can either have a Xerox of this map and you can paste it in your notebook. Okay. Or if it is not possible to paste the Xerox of this map, you can just write down. Okay. Writing is compulsory. Writing is important. But pasting this map, pasting the Xerox of this map, it's up to you. So I want all these points in your notebook without fail. Okay. So these diagrams also you will draw Earth's distribution, thermal zones, okay, then main factors. So I want all these things in your notebook without fail, children. Okay. So this is all about your today's revision of lesson number 5. Did you understood it? Okay. So bye to all of you for now.